Hi, this is Neil Caden from the Apereo Foundation, and this is the Sakai Morpheus meeting on Wednesday, September 9th at 11 a.m. I'm recording this. So this is just an informal meeting talking about the Morpheus project, which is the new skin and mobile responsive design interface for Sakai. It's in Sakai 11. And just like I said, just an informal discussion. So let's see. I don't know, does anyone want to kick it off? I kind of remember some of the things we talked about last week. I think the main thing that we discussed was some sort of improving the technical documentation, and then planning to have a presentation to the community, especially as we kick off the Sakai skin contest. I see we've lost a couple people. I'm really that boring? I mean, I've lost 3 people. Oh, okay.
So yeah, just to continue on that, so we actually started the collaborative document, which I just posted in the chat. So that
Cool.
we just had a main points which we want to cover in that listed here, but we have to come up with the actual content for all those mentioned items. And we think this should cover at least the basics and in depth of Morpheus. I think once everything is written here, we'll basically import that to a GitHub document or GitHub README file format, so that it's close to the actual code.
So would you like us to take a look at some of that documentation you've created and kind of just
I think it's not yet started, to be frank. It's just there. We haven't done anything, so far it's just an outline, basically. So we have a couple of bulleted points where what we want to cover. So the bulleted points listed there in this document are basically sections, I would say.
Okay.
Documentation will be in the future.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for starting the outline. That's great. Do you think you need about another week or 2 weeks to flesh it out? And is there anything we can do to help?
Well, I'm thinking a week at least to have some more something there. But probably 2 weeks to actually finalize everything, to get feedback and everything.
Yes. Here's my thinking. Okay, so that's going to take 2 weeks. That takes us to September 23rd. And Ian, let me see. Ian Dolph, I think that he has a webinar series, the Apereo webinar series, and maybe it would make sense to try and fit into that. So September 30th is available, so I don't know if we want to do it for September 30th, which is, so if we do 2 weeks from today, the 23rd, that gives us like a week to review it. Mm-hmm. And then do a presentation to the community. I think that it would be on Wednesday it would be noon Eastern, so an hour later than now. And double check also with Dr. Chuck, because it sounded like he would be happy to participate in that as well.
Okay.
Cool. So what would be the right way to frame this presentation? Is it a Morpheus technical overview, or does that make it push people away?
I would say it's more of user side of how users can start using the Morpheus. A little more technical, not too technical, but just to get a hands-on view of what Morpheus is for the institutions, or what they need to know to make use of it, basically.
Okay, so here's what that's asking for on the sign-up sheet. It's asking for software project. Sakai project obviously is the right thing. Then a working title. So the title, based on what you were just saying, and I also want to kind of emphasize the skin contest aspect of it, because people who are participating in the skin contest will probably want to, attend this. So I'm thinking the working title could be something like "How to Start Using Morpheus," and and something with a skin contest in there. How to start using Morpheus, and or maybe we should, yeah, and learn more about the skin contest or something like that. Learn more. That doesn't sound too catchy.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just paste my initial kind of lame idea in the chat, and maybe some other people come up with a. And we don't have to figure out the title right now, but just if you're inspired to how to come up with something really good.
Yeah, I think the Vilma sentence would be how to start using Morpheus and how to create a custom skin.
How to create a custom skin. Okay. I want to, but I guess I can do that. We can do that through communications. That it is that people who are interested in the contest will definitely want to attend. Oh, you barely hear us. That's sad. Eduardo is right. He can barely hear. So, okay, well, that sounds like a good start. How to start using Morpheus and how to create a custom skin. And then we'll just try and make sure people know it's connected with the skin contest. So are there any other new things to talk about?
On my side, I don't have any. Right now, it's the documentation at least I'm working on. But I don't know if Edward has anything that looks like he has a problem. So
Yeah.
I saw that Juan and Eduardo, I think, I'm not sure, but they are working on the bug fixes. So.
Oh, that's right. That's what we usually we agreed we'd take like 15 minutes to do bug fixes. So let's do that. Does anyone have a filter handy? Do you have a filter handy, or do I need to make one up or find one? I forget if we saved one. Let me take a look in Jira. If there's a Morpheus, oh, here we go. I have two filters here. One is Morpheus issues open Morpheus issues, and the other one are Morpheus unresolved issues, which should be very similar. In fact, it looks like they have the same list of issues at the moment. The queries might be slightly different. Yeah, the queries are slightly different, but the moment is put. Make sure this is public to everyone. It is, so let me share this filter. I've talked about, so we'll just go through. Let me try sharing my screen. Excuse me. Oops. Let's see. Screen share. There we go. Okay, so let me move this over here. And I'll move this over here. Oops. One. Nice. Excuse me just a second. I got my windows mixed up. There we go. And I think the Firefox window over here. Out of the way. All right. So, so I could use your help because I don't remember if we've discussed. Does everyone see the screen? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So, yeah, if there are ones that we have already spoken about, let me know so we don't rehash old issues, and that way we can move a little quicker. I'll just start from the top. As you can see, it's ordered from blocker level issues and then down to lower priority. So I think we talked about the errant count below footer on settings, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so we don't need to talk about that one at the moment. that should come out of awaiting review. Oh, that's a good question. I remember now. Some of them we needed to test, and I don't think I tested this one. So who was I supposed to test this one? That's my question to see if the issue is still the same. Because I notice I have it labeled QA Funk Test. So I'm back and test.
Okay.
See, next one is tutorial needs updating for Morpheus. That one is open. So that one, is that being worked on, or does that need discussion?
Yeah, I think we may need a little discussion on that. What to use, if you're still using the jQuery model one or not. Yeah, we can come to that later.
So
we can just fix them once for now, and then can cover it later. I don't know.
Oh, so you want to come back to this later?
Yeah.
Okay. Go down the list then. Okay, next one's SAK 29771, skip nav access no longer visually displayed. This one I'm pretty familiar with. Do we need to discuss this one? This one sounds like it could be a kind of a big deal. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Eduardo said he'll look into that last week.
I'm sorry?
I think Eduardo said he'll look into that and see if that's still an issue.
Right. Okay. Should we this one to Eduardo then? Right now it's assigned to Matt and Claire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's assign it. Cool. Next one. Yeah, I do remember discussing that a little bit. And the next one, gradebook date picker. I remember discussing this one too, right? Gradebook date picker is broken. And so Steve Swinsberg did respond that it's gradebook one only. So I'm not sure the action we decided on this. I think a blocker level bug in Sakai 11 for gradebook, since they're planning on, so the news I'm getting from Steve and Jeff is that they do think that they will be merging in Gradebook NG really soon, and they want to not even stealth the original Gradebook. They want to keep it up and running, and I think that's because there's additional work to be done on Gradebook NG even after they merge it, and they want to be able to compare bugs. So if they, if we find some issues in Gradebook NG, we kind of want to go back and easily look at the behavior in the Gradebook. So based on that, I'm going to say this should be a blocker level bug and maybe assign it to Steve.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. One is, I should make that open. Should make that an open issue also. So awaiting review means one thing. Let's see. But I'm going to trust that he knows what he's talking about there. All right. So make sure that's an open issue. Waiting review basically just means that we're checking that it's a valid issue. Once we know it's a valid issue, it goes to open status. So, next one is SAK 29170. Error view needs updating for Morpheus. I think we discussed this one too. Should be resolved. Oh, right. So we think this one's resolved. We just close this issue if we don't hear anything back in a little bit. All right. Go to the next one. Okay, we're already out of issues, which is cool. The accessibility issue, I believe, is connected to, that earlier SAK one, so I'm surprised those aren't linked. The accessibility IE loses focus when navigating between screens using the keyboard. The last comment is from Matthew Jones. This might be useful here to see if the element selected is actually focusable. But it looks like there's some comments in this. I don't know if we need any discussion here, except to me, it seems like it should be linked to, let me find the other issues. Again, one we just had discussion on briefly. Issues. It looks to me like this one. Yeah?
It's 29771, I think that's what I said.
Yeah, that's it. SAK. So shouldn't this one be like connected to that?
I mean, both are related to the accessibility, that's for sure. So probably yes, I'd say.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that and make a comment. And is there any more we need to discuss, or who's kind of taking, right now it's assigned to the Samigo team, which really doesn't exist, so I should change that either to the Sakai core team or if someone has action. So let me go ahead and link to the SAK 29771. Okay. So it does look like this is active discussion, but I'm just, this should be to anybody. Not sure what the next step is. Maybe this is one accessibility group. I'm not sure. So should we just skip this one for now, or?
Yeah, we can skip this now.
Okay. We'll definitely want to come back to that. The next one is Samigo 2543, error not showing on blank assessment name. This is listed as awaiting review. When did I open this? So that was opened a while ago. I forget if we discussed this, but it's still listing as awaiting review, and there hasn't been any new comments. You can take a second. And then assessment spelled wrong here. Right. To reproduce, leave the assessment title blank, click create. Okay. I try reproducing that real quickly. Let's see. Go into Sakai nightly. Oh, there's already some sites in here. Cool. So I'll just go to one of the existing sites. I'll add in Samigo. Now I'm going to go to test and quizzes. I'm going to leave the assessment title blank and click on create. So yes, that's still an issue. So when you do that, it doesn't create one, which is right, but it doesn't give you any sort of a message. So this is a Morpheus issue or not? But this is still an issue.
Yeah, I think we can do that. I will look into that.
Okay, cool. Should I go ahead and just assign the ticket to you then for now?
I just did it to me.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
We're actually already into the major issues, so we're kind of flying by. We'll take another, 10 minutes or so and go through. You can always, end early because I'm sure you're all busy, but nice to get through a lot of issues. The next one, Samigo 2606. Save buttons are too close together. So I have a couple images, although I guess I don't have them labeled as PNG, but there's an example. So I don't know if that's still true, but do you agree those are kind of like bleeding into each other a bit?
I'm just reviewing it, seeing that's still the case.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I'm just reviewing if it's still the case. I
Okay.
think. Yes. Wait a minute. Sorry.
Yeah. And I think it'll also on the save as well as the publish, so in both places.
Yeah. Yeah. I will assign that me to.
Cool. Make sure that one's open as well. I'll go ahead and click open. Right. So let's see. Tabs SAK 29736 tabs limited dates and no more site buttons visible. This is unassigned, awaiting review. Step to reproduce. Enter as instructor with more than 4 sites available. You see only 4 tabs and the more sites button is missing. Okay, I can actually try that. Add new site. There's already 4 sites available in
I'm not sure if it's still the issue here, but
Can you hear me?
yeah, I don't know if I can recreate this one, but Sean says the issue has something to do with the settings in the whitelist.
Saw it on my screen. Did you see it on my screen?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
but I just logged into a different system which has more sites, more than 4 or 5. It doesn't matter. Right now we just change it to fit everything inside that bar, that section, and if it doesn't, it actually overflows into the more sites button automatically. There is no 4 or any count which is fixed now. So I don't know how to recreate this, and from explanation it seems to be anything above 4, but I have a admin user and he has like, let me see, more than 4, 6 or something. 8, yeah, and 8 are
So you're testing on a different system and you're not seeing the same behavior?
Yeah, so if you use this, and then as an admin, I don't see that.
Huh. Oh, so that's why you're bringing up the Marist server.
Yeah,
So let me bring that up.
and I'm sure it's updated recently. I mean, it's not up to date as of today, but it's most recent updated.
Hmm. So is there should I log in as instructor, or where will I see that behavior on the Marist
If you
server?
log in as an admin, it has like more than 4 sites,
Okay.
and everything is visible. I don't see the issue reported.
Great. That's an interesting point. So let me go ahead and log out of here and log in the other site as admin. I don't think that should make a difference, but just so the
Uh,
test is the same,
yeah, Sean is mentioning that the
it won't make a
DHTML
difference.
property controls some newer tabs, but I think the recent change eliminated that completely, and we don't use that at all now. So the DHTML is not being used anymore. That's a change Chuck made in the backend, so that all the sites, whichever he has access to as an active site, will be displayed on the top bar.
So let me log out and see if by some weird reason that admin. So it looks like, let's see how many sites are on here. Let's look at preferences and see if there's one of these sites on here. So right now there's only 4 sites on here, so let me add one more. See what happens. Let's do another project course.
Try giving it a long name.
Sorry?
Try giving it a huge name, I mean like a bigger name. See if it
A
helps.
bigger name, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't let me. It cuts me off at the
Oh
V.
yeah. It's a limit. Yeah.
Please for that. And look this up. Contact site now. Okay. Cool. All right. And then it doesn't matter what tools I choose for right now. And this doesn't matter either. And created. And no, I'm still on the nightly. I'm still getting that issue. See that? Even admin doesn't matter which one I'm logged in with. So there's something different between the Marist environment and the. So you're saying the Marist has been updated and you just need to push something in the trunk? Is that what you're thinking?
Oh. So yeah, I'll check it once again. I don't know what's. Let me see.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'll verify. Probably I'll assign it to me and see if that's. There's some
I
more
put this one as a blocker level. If it's an issue, I put it at blocker level because we wouldn't want to, people need to be able to see more sites, right? I mean, that's not really a major issue. That's critical at blocker level. We wouldn't want to release 11, Sakai 11 with that. So we're actually making, good progress. You okay to keep going on, or do you need the time to leave early and work on other stuff or work on the documentation? Or do you want to plow through a few more issues?
Yeah, you can go through more issues.
Okay. Okay, let's go through a few more issues now. This is cool. So next one is SAK 29649, adjust positioning of password strength message on new account page. Please see SAK 9801. Minor adjustment to strength info message is misaligned by approximately 5 EMs, possibly related to Morpheus. So this one if that's related to SAK 29801, then and this one's result means this one is really a duplicate.
Um, I'll review it. I think it has some effect on the form inside the registration.
So you want to either assign it to yourself, or should I put a comment on it? I just
I'll
like.
assign it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's really helpful to do either assign it or put a comment on that way. Next time it's easier to go through and say, oh, we've already talked about that one. Makes things quicker for later. Next one is SAK 29449, tool categorization support on site info page order. Oh, it looks like it's already signed to you. So you're familiar with this one already? That's interesting. Add category.
Oh, this is yeah. I think this is actually a feature we plan to implement, and I don't think we actually are doing it in this one now. In the site order helper. Probably this. Yeah, I don't think this will be doing it now.
Make it into 11, you think?
Yeah, I don't think we can do it by 11.
I'm going to go ahead and move this one to a feature request, and then and then we can put a comment on it. Let's see.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move this to a feature request. So a little comment on here. Third Morpheus, the meeting will not be in scope for 11.0. Okay, cool. All right. I lost my filter. So, let's see. Oops. Same thing. Where are we at here? What's the next issue you have? Let's see. We can talk about that one. Are we at SAK 29739? See, what are your comment? It's beyond the last issue. Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think this may have been resolved with the importing the Bootstrap CSS. But I have to verify if that's the case.
Is there an easy way to are you going to verify it, or is there an easy way for like a QA tester to verify it?
I can verify it. Let's assign it to me.
Next one I have here, Morpheus is changing files in the source folders. SAK 29507. If I build a library project, still awaiting review, opened by Matthew Bucket, we'll end up with changed files in my checkout. I have no idea. This is a pretty technical one, I think.
I think this is also no longer valid because we are not using images anymore. Um, After including the font awesome, I think this is not a problem because we are not using this images.
So do you want to close it, or should somebody verify and then
Yeah,
close it? It's not an issue.
I think we can verify it once and then close it. But
Awesome.
I'll just assign it to me and then I'll review it once and it still has issue and I'll probably close it.
Okay. Very awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Under Morpheus, help is looking for CSS and library skin neo default to the CSS. So is this also an old one? Help is looking for CSS. Help has a hard-coded link to CSS that is not there. See screenshot.
It probably is still an issue because we have touched and this is reported like 2 days back. So yeah.
What's the impact of this? Would the help then look different than the rest of Sakai? Would it kind of impact the way the help look and feel was?
I don't think it is impacting anything, but it just reports that these 2 files are missing in the error logs. It doesn't impact anything in the user, but if it's not being used, you should remove them properly. That's the only thing.
So what's the impact to the user? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Is there any impact to the user of the help system?
No, user does not. I mean, do not have impact as far as I know of unless these things are being used inside the help, which I don't believe. Yeah, I think we have to.
So Wilma, how big of a deal is it if the help looks kind of plain without style sheets? That wouldn't be a blocker
Okay.
level issue for 11.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought I heard my name.
Yeah. I was saying we're just actually talking about the help system. It's
Yeah.
one of the issues is that it doesn't right now. I mean, it looks like Dr. Chuck is working on it anyway. It's in progress, but curious if it should be just a major level issue is probably sufficient.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
if
don't think it's a blocker, but it is a major issue.
major, yes. If it is not applying anything to the help, probably it is major issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it, and it seems like Chuck has assigned it himself, so in progress. That's cool. Okay. Next one's SAK 29796. New site notification does not go away. Let's see. I reported this in August, so a few months ago, a month ago, I guess.
I think you just did this one, right?
I think this one got fixed, right? Maybe.
Yeah, you just created. I think it's fine now. It looks like at least.
Yeah, because I just created a couple. I didn't see an issue like that, so I'll retest this. But it seems like it's a non-issue now.
Yeah.
Tags. Cool. All right, single width tool pages are too narrow. That was reported a while ago.
Yeah, I think this is probably resolved, and we thought of retesting this once to see if that's still like this.
So yeah, it's been a while, so I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that one's fixed, and maybe we'll see it when it gets merged. So, let's see. Oh, I see. Yeah, it even says we need to retest that, so we'll do it here. Need better styles for disabled input elements. Previous to Morpheus development, we had styles and tool CSS for disabled input elements. Still open.
Yep.
It's not good.
I'll assign this to me, and I'll work on this.
Thank you. The next one is SAK 29255. File picker helper needs updating from Morpheus. And this is opened by Steve Swinsberg. It's unassigned. We produced it as Sean produced it. This is still a month ago though. It seems similar to SAK 29337. Distance between folders while selecting content from resources. I'm wondering, and I'm wondering just in terms of breaking up the work. I noticed that you've been taking a lot of them, which I appreciate. Should we assign any? And I see Eduardo's on the call, so should we assign any of these things that you're taking to Eduardo, or is that he needs to put his time in other areas?
Some of them I think he already has on him. But I'll talk to him and see if he can. I think he said he'll look into the video and he'll go through some of them.
Okay, cool. So as so distance between folders when selecting content from resources. Supply 11. So now if these two are related, that's one of the questions that Sean was asking. It looks like he made it related too, so.
Yeah, I think the JavaScript is not being applied here. Supposed to be the bootstrap, the JavaScript has to be applied, so I think that's missing here.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I said I'd let you all go early, and we're already past the quarter till. So if you want, we can kind of just, I can mark the other 10 we haven't had a chance to review for next time. And I don't anticipate a lot coming in until we start doing heavy duty testing. So
Yep.
how does that sound? Leave it a couple minutes early and I'll mark the other 10 issues for looking at the next thing. Let's see, Sean writes, do we have time to discuss a few points of feedback that I received from my colleagues? The answers don't have to take long. Needed way to suggest I create a Jira ticket. That sounds like a great way if Eduardo and Uday don't mind a couple more minutes. Of course, that means I'm lying that we're not leaving early, but it sounds like a good issue for discussion. That's okay.
Yep. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Someone took my mic and hasn't given it back to me in a long time. Okay. I think we have enough in the Apereo budget. We can get you a new mic if you really need it.
No problem.
I'm going to read them out loud because because the chat doesn't get recorded. So let's see, Sean's comments. And it is Sean. Yep. Let's see. I can create Jira tickets as necessary. Okay. Go ahead and I'll just read out your comments so it gets on the recording. Why do we drop the log out text in the mobile view? We have lots of room up there. Should we keep the text or even put the logout button under the profile like Gmail, Office 365, and many other services do? That's issue number one. Next thing is the profile down arrow beside the logout button might be hard to hit on mobile. Number two, the animation is too slow for the more sites. Drop the animation like with the mobile left panel. Number four, the drawers close arrow looks hand-drawn. Number five, sorry to bring this up again, why do sites need their line? There is lots of space between the Sakai logo and the profile area. Plus, we have that snazzy JavaScript determining the length of the site title space. And that's all the issues for now. Smiley face.
Okay. So I would start with the third one. The third one, dropping the animation for the more sites. I completely agree, and I think you can create a ticket for that. And we'll definitely, and I definitely would do that just to say make sense, because if the left doesn't have, why should right navigation should have that? Yes. So. It doesn't need to be animated, but the main reason I think they had animation initially is because the left toolbar is small and the right navigation on the sides is big, and if it is popped up right away, it's maybe a little bit awkward looking. So I think that's the reason behind the animation. And yes, as Eduardo said, we can make it faster. I don't know if that's the thing we can do and see if that looks better than the existing functionality. But yeah, you can make a ticket and see. We can have a discussion about that. But regarding the other ones, like taking out the logout text in the mobile view, making the sites into the second row by itself, they are the design choices made by here in these discussions long back when we are doing these changes. I don't know if that's we can. I don't know if we can make it as an issue, or I don't know. That's how basically it's decided to actually go with the default theme. Um, but if you really think that you have a new design which actually uses lot of space, and that may be the right thing to submit for the. Um, I think Edward is working on one new design based off their UI. So you can also maybe suggest one design out of your views, and probably PMC has a different opinion after looking at your design, and maybe that may be becoming a default. But for now, I think it's decided from what we discussed in the past meeting. So that's what it
Yeah, I
came
think
from.
you're right. That's what I recall as well. But don't forget, we also have the skin contest. So that would be, might be a good thing to give an alternative design and go through that process. And that has a couple of developers, on it. And I'm sure whatever gets approved will end up, going through the PMC as well. So, but yeah, I recollect the same thing. We did.
Mhm. So I think the number 4 is it's just uh, it's a CSS. We can make use of an icon instead of that. There is no reason. Probably you can uh, create a issue for the number 4 to make more identical, or make a use of an font awesome icon instead of the existing close button or close whatever it is right now. It used to be it actually collapses to a hamburger icon. That's where it came from. The hamburger icon and the close are basically the same things with an animation behind it. So that's where it looks a little bit different than the regular icons. Um, but yeah, I think creating a ticket for that probably makes sense. And that brings up a discussion of see what would be the best thing for that. So I think I covered everything, right? Yeah,
Let's
I think.
see. Cool.
Yeah, it,
It was
profile down arrow.
sorry, profile down and the log out.
Yeah, I think we may need to distinguish a little bit to as having a separator to actually make it more seems to be a clickable section. Um, Probably, yeah. I think we had create data for that also. We can do that, and then we can. Yeah. So if we have a separate kind of section just to represent that it's a clickable thing, just to have a separator between the actual profile image or the profile name, then the drop down. That would be better. That makes sense. Yep.
What about the logout idea? Did we talk about that? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's also similar decision made because uh, I'm not quite. I don't quite remember what reason behind it, but it's I just want to remove the space on the top. Basically, remove the text. Um, so what happens is if there is a profile name without an image or a profile or sorry, if there is a user without a profile like as a site administrator. If you go to site administrator, he doesn't have a profile tool deployed in. So what shows up there is just text without image. In that case, that whole top bar is utilized by the name itself, and having a logout text beside the logout icon um, uses a little bit of consumes a little bit of space. Um, so that's the reason. Again, it's again a design choice made in the previous discussions here to eliminate the text in the mobile view on the top as much as we can.
Okay, well, thank you for Sean for bringing up all those issues, and thank you Uday for your comments and on all the tickets and all those issues. Really appreciate it. So it looks like we're at the end of the time, and again, thank you everybody. I thought it was a very productive meeting, and I will publish the recording. I'll make sure. I'm sure Dr. Chuck will be especially interested in maybe some of the comments at the end, so I'll mention that to him.
Oh, yep. Thank you. Thank you, Dale.
So I'm going to stop the recording, and thank you very much. Take care.
Yep.